'Cause every time we try to break it down and build again, yeah, every time we try to make up for something lost, you know, we're never letting go. This time we can reach the sky on a prayer, we go higher than high. Yeah, wide awake, it's a big mistake, 'cause it's something we can deny. But with a love like this, we'll never fall.
Join Lolly and the Love Zombies army on an unforgettable mission to Earth. After Drago unleashes his powerful amnesia fumes, people begin forgetting who they really are. Can Lolly and her friends help the world remember before it's too late? Discover the adventure, imagination, and heart of Love Zombies Land. Available now at hollismahady.com and on Amazon.
You were on mute here.
Hello? Oh, thank you. So no one heard anything I said? Nothing. Okay. Well, if you're still tuning in, thank you guys. 3 minutes. That one never happened before. I went on at 7:02. So to be honest, I was here and I was fussing with my hair because I always have to remind myself to put on the list, get wireless headphones, because no matter how much you fuss with your hair, as soon as you put the headphones on, I'm like, oh. But anyway, you missed all that. So luckily it was only 2 minutes, and that's why it's lovely. I have my assistant out there who listens and makes sure it sounds okay, and it usually does. But I guess you didn't hear any of that. Really, all I said was, welcome to Holistics. I'm Hollis Mahady, your host, and today is June 29th. And then I went into saying I can never remember which months have 30 days and which months have 31 days. And if there's a mnemonic device, that's what it's called, something to help you remember. Like, I know there's different sayings. Like, remember the state song? Like, I don't remember that one either. It's not that good, but there's like Alabama, Arkansas, the way that you remember all the 50 states. That's one, for some reason, I could just never remember. And I also said I never really used to care about 30 or 31 days. It didn't really matter much. When you get older and you know rent is due on the 1st, or your mortgage is due, or whatever bill is due on the 1st, you're like, ooh, hopefully I have another day. Every day makes a difference. Another day, another dollar, right, guys? Oh my gosh. So anyway, I was saying we were getting into the heart of the summer. And I said I was outside right before I came in. I was out there at the gazebo. We have a very beautiful common area. It's so freaking nice. I love it. It's like being at a resort. But you don't really get to enjoy it half of the year because it's always cold and, it's winter and it's raining and it's cold. You're not going to be sitting at the pool or the gazebo. So these are like the precious time. You got to get out there and enjoy it. And I was walking over there yesterday across the little bridge. And as I was going across the bridge, so many ducks were there and they were all just everywhere. I couldn't even cross the bridge. I was like, you know what? And they were pooing everywhere too. So I was like, okay. Besides that, I was just like, well, I don't know. Ducks are pretty harmless, but there was a lot of them. I was like, if I just walk in between them, I don't know. Would they ever peck you or be like, I don't know. They seem pretty peaceful creatures, but they were eating and they literally just all sitting right in the walkway. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go around. But that brings me to the point of the show. It's a little bit different here on Holistics. Oh, I say it's a smorgasbord. We change it up. So what we do from the gauntlet, the wide array, the full spectrum of topics. I had another topic I was thinking, but a little bit more serious. I was like, you know what? What spawned my idea for the show was that Friday night, someone asked in the chat room, and I think they were just kidding, obviously, but they were like, "Did you ever eat a deep fried vulture?" And I was like, "Ew." And obviously, never have. And then I was like, "Does anyone ever really eat a vulture?" And like, vultures are like bad or gross, right? What do they? You associate vultures kind of with, not a good look or whatever, not a good look, but you know what I mean. And when you think, oh, the vultures came in, oh, there are vultures came to the party and they took everything or whatever. And so I started looking up vultures just out of curiosity, but I've learned that they are you know what? They're actually very important to the ecosystem because they eat all the dead animals and carcasses. That's why they're like, people think vultures and things like cemeteries. They're put in a lot of symbolism in like horror movies, like vultures and things like that. But you look at them and you read a little bit about them. And I pulled up my trusty ChatGPT and I said, well, why do vultures get such a bad rap? I certainly don't want to eat one because, right, you are what you eat, and you don't want to be eating a deep fried vulture. I don't know about that because they eat, like I said, the carcasses and and dead bodies and things like they'll eat anything. So anyway, I was like, you know what? By vulture, then vulture turned into a bald eagle. I was like, oh. And then a bald eagle turned into a dolphin. And I was learning all about dolphins. And then a dolphin, I was like, what about killer whales? And of course, sharks. And then all these things. Which animal has the smallest brain? Which one has what's closest to a human? And just thinking, we love our animals. Most people, I know there's some exceptions. People have like some exotic pets and stuff, like a little snake or other things like iguanas and stuff. But besides our pets, there's so many animals out there and they're just freaking like fascinating. And then it was almost like just like a sign was saying, talk about animals. And then I went, as I was walking back after not bothering the ducks, I come up and there's just two deer so close to me. They were like right there. And deer's not that unusual in Warren, Ohio or Pennsylvania, but they were so cute. And I have some videos of them and they were just like standing there. They were actually really close. Same thing. And I was like, I don't get scared, but I'm like, he's really close to me. Would he ever come in like with his antlers and think I was attacking or something? I don't know. So some people like to get really close to animals. I'm like, I admire from a distance. I don't want to get too close. Even ducks, and then I'm like, oh, what if they peck you? What if they have rabies? And I don't know. Rabies. Oh my gosh. We could get into, oh. So anyway, I kind of skipped, but that is obviously what the show is. A little bit about the theme. We go into all different things here. There's no rules. That's why I call it holistics. Oh, my board is acting a little weird with the volume issue here. Oh, no. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to have a sound effect. All right. Well, I'll figure that out on the break. But yes. So that's the cool thing. I use ChatGPT to look it up or Google, but there could be the pictures and I'll tell you a little bit of what I learned and then we will get into more animals. But a little bit of housekeeping. I'm Hollis Mahady, your host. This is Holistics in June 29th, 2026. Like I said, I came in. It was so nice out. And I said, you know what? I got to do my show. Got to go talk about the animals. So we got to get in there. So anyway, what else was I going to say? Yes, Love Zombies is out. It's on Amazon. I put out a few little promotion things, letting people know it's if they're interested in a paperback. I was saying physical copy, then I'm like, oh, paperback. If you're interested in a paperback, you could go to Amazon and search Love Zombies Land. Or you could go to my website, hollismahady.com, and you could click on learn more about the Love Zombies. There's a whole little landing page there. It's not just like buy the book, buy the book. You're going to get to know them and decide if it's something you might be into. It's not for everybody, but should be for everybody, but I know not maybe a kid's book's not the first thing on your mind, but I always say, you know what? It's a story for adults as well. It's not just for children. Love Zombies possess qualities of love. They have a lot of empathy. They have a lot of heart, obviously. They like to connect, imagination, but they're cool. They're not just like Sesame Street. They have attitude too, So you're going to get to know them and they're very fun and they're very cute and I love them so very much. All right. So QR code there if you are interested in joining our community, we have a community for people navigating a changing world. This is a changing world. It's a changed world, but you know what? We're changing too. So every day we grow and we evolve and the world change and we're just trying to keep up, right? But I say here, we try, at least I try to, and I know many of the people in the chat room who continue to come back and chat feel the same way. We hold on to the things that matter the most in this crazy world of technology, all the constant scrolling, oh, all the choices to pick from. Why would you come here? Why would you come here and watch Hollis Mahady? Who's that? That girl from high school? Remember her? She was in the band. But yeah, I'm here and there's a reason why. Because I am bringing together people who just want to take a minute and connect and meet other people and talk and just decompress sometimes. It's a crazy world out there. So, with that said, I'm going to head over to the chat room, say hello. Oh, but about the QR code, again, I tip support the show. But if you join the community, it's $10 a month. There's also a level for $2 a month. So, all tips support, but it's not, you're actually just paying to be part of, the community. You're going to get a free copy of Love Zombies Land and you're going to get some other stuff as well my music, Amnesia covers is out there, Sweet Poison Love's up there. Everything, guys, is up there. There you go. Be the change you want to see in the world. Small acts of kindness. You don't have to go and publish a book or do all the, or change the world in some grand scheme. I say we could do things just in little ways. Like don't be rude to people. Or if you see someone upset, maybe smile. Little things. But I am not a hypocrite and we all have our bad days, trust me. But I'm trying to live by that more. And this whole podcast and everything and getting back online after all these years has been a bit, I'm sorry, my hair is bugging the crap out of me here. It's been a learning process. When I got back online, I was like, oh, the views, how am I going to get that? Oh, and it's really liberating. I just don't care anymore. I don't care. If there's 10 people, I'm so happy. I love you, 10 people. Let's talk. Let's connect. Let's whatever. I don't care. So there you go. It's actually very liberating. So, but there you go. It's not very complicated, but for the $10, it does support me. It supports the show because it costs me money actually to put on these podcasts. But you get stuff for it. You could get a digital copy of Love Zombies Land, some other exclusive podcasts that are not anywhere else, and some songs and other stuff as well. So there's so much content up there. A lot of time and effort went into it. And if you just like the idea and you say, you know what, I think we should preserve humanity and some of the things that they're talking about is important. Hey, $2 a month. And if not, you could also just do a one-time donation, like, buy a coffee or whatever. That's what it's called. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. So what that means is, you go on and you could just, here's $5. Thanks, Hollis. Thanks. I appreciate you. Whatever. Okay. So there you go. There's the, not disclaimer, the housekeeping. We get the housekeeping in order. All right. So with that said, let me go over. And I saw some comments in the chat room. I love when people are here. Hi, everybody. Travis and Charlene. Hello. Hello, Hollis, they say. Well, hello, Travis and Charlene. Thank you for popping in. Aw, Chris says, hey, looking forward to tonight's show. Love animals, especially the ocean. It's fascinating. I know. You know what? And like I said, I was looking at it yesterday. You know how, one thing goes into another and you're like, well, dolphins. I was like, because you have heard stories. Have you guys heard stories? Like dolphins are very magical, and they're protectors, but they actually can like ward off sharks and they've been known to save humans. Do you remember that story? Like the sailors and there were sharks all around and the dolphins all came in their school. And I said, how can a dolphin, how could a dolphin win against a shark? Wouldn't a shark just come and eat them? But apparently, I didn't know this until I looked. But the dolphins, their nose, they're so cute. They're long, but they're very like powerful. And I guess they'll like poke the shark and they could like damage an organ. And then the shark knows enough not to really go by them. And they go in schools. So like one dolphin on its own, shark maybe. But I think sharks know, like just don't mess with the dolphin. So that's pretty cool. Phil Jones says, guess who has a week off? Lovely to watch live for a change. Aw, Phil, I'm so glad you're here. Yes, well, good for you. You have the week off. Good. I know you deserve that. And it's a good week to have off, right? It's just summer. It's going to be the 4th of July. Well, for us. And, but, well, good for you. It's nice to have you in here. Yeah, I know the time difference is hard. Chris is from the UK too. Must kill Chris up there. I don't know if you guys know each other, but he watches. He's a late night owl though. So I understand, but I'm so glad you're here. Let me know, everyone, if you want to let me know your favorite animal. if you have one. I know it's hard to pick, or an animal that you think is interesting. You don't like you want me to look up or whatever because we could watch. You could get into all this stuff for hours, right? And then you start looking at the lions, and then just it's fascinating all these animals because sometimes you don't really think about it. Like at least me. Until like maybe you go to the zoo, and how often you really do that? Once you go to the zoo, I'm like, oh, inspired animals, and then there's the whole thing about them in the zoo and then in the wild and all that. But yeah, it just like one thing goes to another. So I was looking at about the dolphins and then about the killer whale. So I was like, and I didn't know this, but ChatGPT will be like, "Did you know?" And it was like, "Did you know that a killer whale is actually not a whale; it's a dolphin?" And I did not know that. So I said that with authority now. But I mean, I think that's right. Then that's what ChatGPT said. Is ChatGPT wrong about certain things? I don't know. I feel like they know. It knows about dolphins and whales. Joe is in the house. Good evening, Hollis. It's hotter than blue hell out here. Yeah, it is hot. But I still got one of my dirt bikes that needs some work running in spite of the heat, and now I'm cooling off in the air conditioner. Aw, good for you. Yeah, be careful out there. There's like heat warnings all over, right? Because it's so hot. What is it in the UK, you guys? Is it very hot out there? Probably. But yeah, there's like heat warnings. You got to be careful. Like some people are, heat stroke, especially, older people. And you also have to make sure you hydrate. So with that said, guys, cheers, cheers, cheers. Oh my gosh, I started the day off with a new routine. So I've been trying to, little changes, right? Like um, I get my health books out and I'm like, oh, radical change my life, all that. I'm like, I gotta eat healthy again. Went to Trader Joe's this weekend, one of my favorite stores. I love Trader Joe's. I don't think they have that in the UK. Probably no, right? Mm-mm. But Trader Joe's just a grocery store, but they have a lot of, I don't know, Whole Foods. I don't think. Did you guys have Whole Foods in the UK? I don't think you did either. I remember Mark and Spencer's and Tesco. Those were the ones I remember. Mark and Spencer, I like because they had a lot of pre-made food. Like they had like little salads and stuff like that. Tesco's was okay. I would always eat the hummus. They had like the caramelized onion hummus was my favorite. And what is the other thing I like there? Oh, those biscuit muffins, not muffins, like schmuffins, crumpets. That's it. They had them at Trader Joe's. I couldn't believe it. Reminded me of my time in the UK. The crumpets, they're good. But anyway, I didn't get all that. I was going to get some fresh fruits because on Friday, or was it Wednesday, we were talking about apples and how they're good for your liver. And apple a day. Remember, Chris? They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But my mom always used to eat an apple a day. And then I read in the liver book that apples are very good for your liver. And then I realized I haven't eaten apples in a long time very often. I bought one a couple weeks ago and then I didn't eat it. And when I went to eat it, it was all mushy. So I had an apple today. So little habits. I'm going to try to have an apple today. And then instead of coffee, I had tea and stocked up on some celery juice. I couldn't believe it because we were talking about that as well. How Matt apparently healing and everything celery juice is. Now I have a whole book about it. I didn't read it all yet. I didn't read any of it yet, but I saw celery juice. It was like $3. So I was like, I'm going to get it and try it. So I'll let you know how that goes. So little things. Let me know. Did you guys have coffee or tea? I know in the UK, it's a lot of tea out there. I drank so much tea, but I had herbal tea this morning. I had lemon balm tea. Phil Jones says the UK has a heat wave. The UK has a heat wave at the moment. I gave the bin men some bottles of water, and it was like I'd given them $100 tip. Oh, yeah, they were thinking of other people would make the world a better place. Yep, absolutely. Phil, well, you are a love zombie. You sound like a love zombie. You know the qualities of love zombie. That sounds like love zombie behavior. Caring about others, having empathy and thinking, gosh, if I was a worker working my ass off, really hot, I would hope that maybe someone who had lots of extra water would offer me one, right? That's something very nice to do, Not everyone thinks like that, but it's little things. One more day at work tomorrow, and then I'm on an 11-day vacation. What? I thought you were already on a vacation, Joe. Maybe obviously I was wrong. For some reason, maybe that was another one you were on a couple days now. But good for you. 11 days. That's awesome. Chris says I'd go with the octopus or crocodiles as my favorite. Okay, so this was funny. I read that octopus. It's because I said ChatGPT, I said, what are like some of the smartest animals in the world? Or who are the smartest animals? They said that like monkeys, chimpanzees were second to human. I mean, they were saying humans obviously, I guess, are number one. Not all of them, but some monkeys are smarter than some humans, but anyway, not here to insult anyone. You know what I mean. But I just, what are some of the smartest animals? And they said the chimpanzee was one, but octopus was one. They said octopus. We'll have to look it up again. But I just remember saying octopus know how to open jars. Like, why would they have jars? Where would they get the jars? But they have so many arms, they could probably open things. Could you imagine? Just no, I don't know. What else did they say? It was octopus was one. Parrots, dolphins. Well, because parrots can kind of talk. We'll have to look it up again. What else was a smart animal? Now I forget. I'm on the spot, and now I'm thinking about it, I'm forgetting. But we'll look it up and we'll say crocodiles. Ooh, crocodile's your favorite, Chris. Why? See? Obviously some of the scary ones. Like my least favorite wouldn't be an animal, right? It'd be a reptile. Because then you gotta, remember that? Robots and aliens. You could be into reptiles, amphibians. So amphibians are turtles. I know that. And frogs. Reptiles are snakes, crocodiles, alligators. What else is an amphibian? Definitely frogs and turtles are amphibians. We're having a school lesson here. Right? You're amphibians and you're reptiles. Crocodiles. Then there's alligators, crocodiles. And what's the difference, right? What would you rather run into? Neither. But if you had to pick, I feel like, I don't know. Gosh, aren't crocodiles like faster? Maybe not smaller, but I feel like alligators they could probably run really fast too, or they could swim fast. But you kind of think of alligators, they're kind of slow. But I don't know. I think I'm wrong. Maybe they could run a little fast. But we'll look in. We'll chat. We'll fact check here. I make sure I put electrolyte in my water every single day. Yes, that's important, guys. Electrolytes. Mayo brand Berry Blast is really good electrolyte additive to add to my tumbler of ice water. I drink it about 6 or 7 days, 7 waters every day. Yeah, that's good, Joe. Yeah, you have to. I have my water right here. Coconut water is good with electrolytes. I like coconut water, but then we did a fast and I kind of overdid it and I got sick of it. But now you got to get the extra coconut. You never know. It's like the Vita coconut, but it's like Vita coconut. It's a double coconut. So good. Especially if you're fasting and not eating. You're like, oh, this tastes like food after not eating for a while. But yeah, like it's pretty interesting. So let's ask ChatGPT. But and guys, let me know if you have any questions. I also heard this is just what I remember hearing. Like pigs are very smart, actually. And then like what animal has the smallest brain? And I was like, is it a bird? Because you hear people it's not a compliment, it's an insult. If someone says, hey, you're a bird brain. I don't know. Doesn't feel like a popular insult anymore. Like people don't really say that. But okay, bird brain. Is that because birds have very small brains? Because birds are small. Fish. Oh, it was something. Oh, that was the other thing about dolphins. I just remembered it. I'm saying that dolphins can recognize themselves in a mirror. And dolphins also, when they sleep with like half their brain on, so they could still keep watch and but they're not really sleeping totally. And then also dolphins just play for fun. Like there have been scientists who saw them just like riding waves for no reason. They were like having fun. It's just so cute when you think about it though. Oh, and dolphins also, each of them have like a different whistle or call that it's almost like having their own name. It's just unique to them. Dolphins seem so magical, right? I know a lot of animals have their different things. I know I'm going to be all over because one thing sparks me to another. How about panda bears? Koala bears. Oh, they're so cute. But I heard they can be mean. I don't know. Has anyone been to the Australia or New Zealand? Because I'm pretty sure that those are the only two places that would have koala bears. I remember there was a fire out there. It was so sad. I was really trying to rescue the koala bears. Let's see. Crocs are just cool looking. I held a baby one once, but I wouldn't want to go near the big ones. No way. I admire from a safe distance. Yeah. It's funny because we were just talking about that when he worked in Florida a lot, and he had to drive through like the Everglades. And I did that, I think, when I was younger, like when I have a family vacation. Like I didn't ever drive by them alone, but he was like, yeah, it's like a long stretch, like 160 miles of just like Everglades. And they say, do not stop, just keep going, get your gas before, and don't stop. Because I mean, I don't know. I would, that honestly, it sounds crazy, but maybe it doesn't. That is one of the reasons I wouldn't want to live in Florida. I mean, I think that, I mean, I would like to live there though. So, I mean, I would, but I would be freaked out, man, if you were just like, he said, because he worked with security and stuff, and he said that there'd be like, he'd hear that the security guards would be in their hut, and like just an alligator would walk by. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, all these memories. What about a kimono dragon? Do you guys know about those? I just thought about that. They're like, I don't know, we should look them up. Okay, so I will just start looking up some random things because it's fun. Kimono dragon. Why did I think about that? Is that like in Indonesia or something? Okay, let's look up kimono. Is that how you say it? Dragon? Because I feel they're reptiles, right? Kimono dragon is a reptile. See, that's the thing with ChatGPT. It'll start like, you'll ask one question and then it'll be like, did you know this? Do you want to know about this? And you're like, okay. And then you get like addicted to it because it keeps telling you stuff. So I don't know. If you're learning, I get it's okay. But you know. Okay, let's see. Is a kimono dragon a reptile? Right, it is, right? Let's see what they say. Yes, a Komodo dragon is a reptile. More specifically, its class is Reptilia. Type is a lizard. It's the largest living lizard on Earth. That's what I thought. I don't know. Is it poisonous? It could grow to be about 10 feet, 150 pounds, over 150 pounds. A few fascinating facts. Here, this is where I got all my little tidbits about octopuses being able to open jars. And what else was it? And a killer whale being a dolphin. I didn't know that before. Despite the name dragon, it's not related to a mythical dragon. It's a giant monitor lizard. It uses its long forked tongue like a snake to smell the air and detect prey from miles away. It eats deer, wild pigs, water buffalo, birds, and even carrion. Its bite is dangerous because it delivers venom that could lower blood pressure, prevent blood clotting, and send prey into shock. In the wild, Komodo dragons live naturally on a few Indonesian islands. Yes, I was right about that. I remember that, including Komodo National Park. Since we were talking about vultures, then the ChatGPT, I just got to call them something. I named my ChatGPT. I won't tell you what I named it, but should I tell them what I named it, Dan? Okay. Since we were talking, but the thing is, your ChatGPT will remember everything. Like they remember things from last night. And they just said, since we were talking about vultures, eagles, dolphins, and killer whales for your podcast, a Komodo dragon would actually be another fun animal to feature. It's one of those creatures that seems almost prehistoric, like a dinosaur that's still alive today. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so let's see about reptiles versus alligators. Okay, what are the main differences between alligators and crocodiles? And what are some fun facts? What are some interesting facts? Oh my god, my typing so bad. It's so bad. I don't even know how ChatGPT like knows what I'm saying because the keyboard is so bad. Our interesting facts are interesting. Oh my gosh. Sorry for the dead air. It's going to be worth the wait. Are you on the edge of your seat? Now look at that. Now I could just pull it up here, but honestly, it's kind of a pain. But but I will do that in a minute. But okay. Ooh, this would be a fun one. Because people confuse them all the time, right? Okay, the alligator versus a crocodile, the snout. This is the easiest way to tell them apart. An alligator has a wide, round, U-shaped snout. Okay. The crocodile's narrow, pointed V-shaped snout. Okay, yeah. Think U is ugly alligator and V is very pointy crocodile. Teeth. When their mouths are closed, alligator usually can't see the bottom teeth. A crocodile, their upper and lower teeth interlock, so you can see lots of teeth sticking out. Okay. Yeah, that makes interesting. I just thought of that song. Never smile at a crocodile. It's like a Disney song. Okay. Where they live. Alligators prefer freshwater swamps, marshes, rivers, lakes. You mostly find them in southeastern U.S., especially Florida and Louisiana. Uh-oh. Our friend Danielle's out there. I wonder if she's seen some alligators. Crocodiles can live in freshwater and saltwater. They have special glands that help remove excess salt. Weird. So personality. See, this is why I thought, yes. Not that you want to run into either, but it says that alligators are more shy, usually avoid people if they can. But a crocodile is much more aggressive and territorial, more likely to attack if threatened. I always feel like they were faster. Let's see if they say that. Amazing fact, they're living dinosaurs. That makes sense. Both have existed for about 80 to 100 million years. Wow. That is interesting. That's pretty old. I mean, dinosaurs disappeared. These guys survived. Amazing moms. Female alligators and crocodiles are incredible mothers. They build nests, guard the eggs, gently carrying hatchlings in their mouths, protect babies for months. Wow. They can replace teeth. Lose one? No problem. They grow another. Wow. Oh my gosh. So I guess that wouldn't end a problem for like, not that you would ever do that, but take the alligator's teeth out. They won't bite you, but they grow back. Over a lifetime, they can replace thousands of teeth. Wow, I didn't know that. That's an interesting fact. Did you know that alligators' teeth can grow back? Four-chambered heart, like birds and mammals. That's unusual for reptiles. Hold their breath. Some species can stay underwater for over an hour if they're resting. They're fast. There you go. People, see, I just said it, right? They're fast. People imagine them as slow, but they're not. They can sprint around 20 miles per hour for short distances. Giant crocodiles. The largest crocodiles can reach around 20 feet long. Oh my gosh. Over 2,000 pounds. That's longer than many cars. We should try to find like the world's largest crocodile. We'll look that up. Why they're important, like the vultures we talked about, they're important to their ecosystems. You guys were learning here on Holistics, a little bit of learning about crocodiles. They keep fish populations balanced, remove weak and sick animals. They create gator holes during dry seasons that hold water for fish, turtles, birds, and other wildlife. With a snapping turtle. So hundreds of other animals can benefit from an alligator's presence. I love that such ancient, fearsome animals are also gentle parents. A mother alligator can crack the shell of a turtle. Yet she can pick up her tiny babies in her mouth without hurting them. Aww. It's another reminder that animals are often much more complex than the stereotypes we give them, right? Yeah. Okay, should we look to see what the largest crocodile looks like? Because they also said this the other day too, and I was like, whoa, about bald eagles, about when they make nests. They make nests and they could be like way over a ton. And I'm just like, and some of their wings of bald eagle spread out to like 7 or 8 feet. I mean, these are huge. So those are interesting to look at, but I was just like, if a nest weighed like a ton, how would that stay in the tree? Wouldn't the tree like fall down? But then they're like, no, that some of the trees are like tons and tons. Like they usually pick like a big old tree. And then they also rebuild on the same nest sometimes. Like, so a year will go by and it's all just made out of like sticks and stuff. So just sticks and like, I don't know, bushes and things. Like, I don't even, just sticks. So like they just go and just like, so they make, and then the next year they add to it. So like they just keep adding and adding. So these tree nests could get like really, really big. Very interesting, right? Things you just don't think about all the time. But here on Holistics, you might. I'm here to remind you about the bald eagle nests and the crocodiles. All right, here we go. Let's go to YouTube. Let's see what's up here on you. Okay, how about the world's? Okay, I got to share the screen with you first. And if there's anything you are curious about, just let me know. We'll learn together. Okay, okay, let me go here. Alice, board up. Can you please share the screen? Okay, here's YouTube. Okay, share. Okay, gotta share that. Okay, now let's sorry guys. This is part I'm a little slow at. Okay, let's look at I listened to a book last night called The Little Prince. Okay, largest crocodile in the world? Ooh, ew. Oh, which one, guys? Oh, Any requests here? Which one we should look at? Look at that one. How long is this one? 2 minutes. Oh my gosh, let's look at this. Here we go.
Cassius is such a beautiful, big, magnificent boy, and he's obviously got such a vivid history to tell.
Hear it, but we can see it.
My name's Sally Isberg from the Centre for Crocodile Research. He's been here now for over 35 years at Marineland, Melanesia. But he was taken
I don't
from
know
a
why I'm not hearing it. If Dan, my assistant, come out, I'm gonna take a quick break. You know, guys, it's already 7:37. Gosh, where does the time go? Like, I literally feel we just started. Just cracking the surface with the crocodile. We only got 2 crocodiles. What about an armadillo? All right, let me just go here. We're gonna do a little break real quick, and hopefully you'll hear the sound on this. Let's see. Enjoy. Let's see if we can hear it.
Join Lolly and the Love Zombies army on an unforgettable mission to Earth.
Oh, I'm not hearing it.
Join Lolly and the Love Zombies army on an unforgettable mission to Earth. After Drago unleashes his powerful amnesia fumes, people begin forgetting who they really are. Can Lolly and her friends help the world remember before it's too late? Discover the adventure, imagination, and heart of Love Zombies Land. Available now at hollismahady.com and on Amazon.
Doggone island, there's a man in black, pacing by the pier with a crooked little laugh. Drago pokes the shadows when the moon comes through. If he doesn't like a thing, that's what he'll do. He kicks at the flowers, he sniffs at the sun. He wants every happy thing to come undone. No hugs, no kisses, no warm little cheer, just a cold little grin when Drago appears. He says, make it messy. He says, break it apart. He likes little crackles in every soft heart. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. He hates the happy sound. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. Divide and conquer now. Drago on dog bone. He sent dark energies through the mangrove trees, made the lighthouse blink in a sickly breeze. Then came amnesia fumes in a purple cloud, made the crab folks stare and forget out loud. He pokes at the cookies, he pokes at the gold, he pokes at the brave, he pokes at the bold. If a smile grows up, he gives it a shove. He's the opposite side of love. He says all the joy should drift away. He loves when the sunshine forgets how to stay. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. He hates the happy sound. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. Divide and conquer now. Drago on dog bone. But the island still hums in the shells and the sand. Tiny, brave giggles keep slipping through his hand. He can cloud up the morning, he can scare the sea, but one little kindness still escapes free. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. He hates the happy sound. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. Drago on dog bone. Divide and conquer now. Drago on dog bone. Boom, boom, boom.
All right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. You know, I was having a little audio issue. I wasn't able to hear, and I want to learn about the crocodiles too. So I could see it, but I couldn't hear it. But I figured, hey, I just threw up Drago up there because, on Doggone Island, they have their own version of reptiles. But the Doggons are protectors of peace until Drago unleashes his dark energy and amnesia fuse and makes them forget. And then they're all fighting. But that's another story. That's neither here nor there. All right. Let's go back to this and see what happens here. Let's meet Cassius, the world's largest crocodile. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Cassius is such a beautiful, big, magnificent boy, and he's obviously got such a vivid history to tell. My name's Sally Isberg from the Centre for Crocodile Research. He's been here now for over 35 years at Marineland, Melanesia. But he was taken from a situation in the wild where I feel that he obviously wasn't very happy. He was attacking boat engines. Whenever there's machinery that work around here, he also exhibits funny behaviour. So it makes me think that he just really reacts badly to having machinery around him. He's fitted in really well, a happy, healthy boy. He has such a personality. He gets called over from one side of the pen and he just happily wanders over. He's got an amazing relationship with George Craig and the rest of the crew here. And he's just an absolutely fascinating character. Every year I come in and do an annual checkup on all the crocodiles here. My favourite is Cassius, obviously, because he is the star of the show. But one of the mechanisms that we can use to look at their welfare is to collect their poo and look at the stress hormone levels within that. And I'm very happy to say that his poo stress levels are very low, which means that he's living the dream here at Marineland, Melanesia.
Wow. All right, let's see. So let's maybe look at the alligator versus crocodile. How about that? Alligator versus crocodile. Okay, look at that. Ooh, what's the difference? Here we go.
One of these is an alligator and the other is
Ooh,
a crocodile.
the one on the
And one
right.
of them kills one person a year and the other kills 1,000 people a year.
Wow.
Do you want to know which one's deadlier and how to tell the difference between the two?
Crocodile.
Then this video is for you.
How's it going, guys? My name's Donnie Kelly Kearns, and probably the single most common question I get asked while working at this alligator park is what's the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? There's quite a few, and many people don't know them, so that's why I'm trying to teach you guys today. Today we have an American alligator and a Morlet's crocodile. These are going to depend on which type of alligator and crocodile you see, but in general, these facts should really help you guys out when trying to distinguish these two animals. So the easiest way to tell these two animals apart is by looking at their heads. If we look at this alligator snout, it is very broad and U-shaped, whereas we look at this crocodile snout, it's very pointed and V-shaped.
Oh.
Now, some crocodiles are going to have a much more pointy snout, like an Orinoco crocodile, and some crocodiles are going to have a much more broad snout, like a mugger. But in general, a crocodile's snout will always be more V-shaped than the very U-shaped alligator snout. So another way to tell these two animals apart is if you look at their mouths when they are closed. With this baby alligator, you'll notice that you'll only see the top jaw's teeth when its mouth is closed. But with this crocodile, you can see both the top and the bottom jaw's teeth, which makes it look a lot more menacing. And in fact, when you tape these guys up, if you take a crocodile up and put your hands on it, it can still cut up your hands because those teeth are very exposed. So the last physical difference I'd like to tell you guys about are their mechanoreceptors. If you look at the head of this alligator, you'll see it has a bunch of little black dots on its jaw. It sort of looks like stubble, like this alligator needs to shave. But what those are mechanoreceptors, which are little pressure sensors. So when this alligator's in the water, he's going to feel a bunch of movement in the water from prey things like fish or maybe a little turtle, and he's going to use those pressure waves he senses to detect if it's prey or not. Now, if we look at this crocodile, it also has mechanoreceptors on its jaw, but it also has them throughout almost the entire length of its body. So this animal is a lot more sensitive to those pressure waves. An alligator can feel you moving around from about 60 meters away. A crocodile can feel you moving from about 300 meters away. So they're a lot more sensitive and a lot more irritable, which means they're a lot more aggressive. So when you work with these animals in captivity, crocodiles will always be more aggressive than alligators. And that translates to how they act in the wild. So if you compare how many people alligators kill a year to how many people crocodiles kill a year, it is far, far different. On average, alligators only kill about one person per year. It's very rare, and why it happens is because people feed alligators. Naturally, alligators are afraid of people. They don't want anything to do with us. But when you feed alligators in the wild, they associate us with food. They learn to attack anything that hits the water, and that's where accidents happen. That or some drunk guy tries to wrestle one, and the alligator usually wins. Now, if we compare that to crocodiles, it is way different. A lot of species of crocodiles are out to get you, and they do target people as a food source. We estimate that about 1,000 people a year are killed by crocodiles, and that's mostly the Nile crocodile. In fact, there's a Nile crocodile in Africa named Gustav, who is believed to single-handedly have killed about 300 people. So crocodiles do have the potential to be man-eaters, and it shows the difference in general of the ferocity of these two animals. But in the field, you probably won't actually need to know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile visually, because you can tell what you're looking at depending on where it is. Alligators only live in the southeastern United States and China, so if you see a crocodilian anywhere else, it's not going to be an alligator. Crocodiles, on the other hand, live everywhere. We've got some in South America, Africa, Asia, Australia. They're all over the place. And there's a small, tiny population in the Florida Everglades. And that's actually the only place on the planet that you'll have both alligators and crocodiles. Hopefully now, if you ever find yourselves in the Florida Everglades and see a crocodilian, now you'll be able to tell if it's an alligator or a crocodile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy, feel free to subscribe so you can follow along on my new and upcoming animal adventures, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you all so much for watching.
All right.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did like it, then
I'm going to give it a like. I give it the habit. Like the video because it provided us entertainment. What do you guys think about that? Aaron's in the house. Aaron. Hello, Aaron says, stay well hydrated, biker. What is your humidity out there? Here in northern Maine, it's 62% relative humidity. And biker says it's about 95% humidity out here. Yeah, it's hot, about 93. I already did what little outdoor stuff I was going to do. Yes, it's very hot. Okay, so now should we look at dolphins? Because I was learning about them yesterday, and they're like, let's look at them, mate. Flipper, remember Flipper? Okay, let's see. Let's go back to YouTube. Flipper was a show about a dolphin. Okay, so dolphins. And has anyone ever swam with a dolphin? Dolphins, what do we look like? We want the animal, not the sports team. Dolphins for kids, how orcas hunt dolphins. Now, yeah, because they're so cute. Look at them. Oh. Okay, let's see. Here, this is dolphins. How smart are they actually inside the animal mind? Okay, let's look at this one.
Diana places a one-way mirror inside the observation window to test the dolphins.
So now we're looking through a window, and they'll be seeing a mirror.
Dolphins don't behave like this, staying in one place and staring, if they simply meet another dolphin. This suggests they understand that what they're seeing isn't another animal, but a reflection of themselves. One action never normally seen is this curious fin wiggling. It's an example of what scientists call self-directed behavior. Things the dolphins only do when they're looking in the mirror. Other self-directed behaviors, including looking inside their mouths and twisting to see their belly. They are using the mirror like a tool to look at parts of their own bodies they usually can't see.
This looks nothing like what they do when they're socially interacting with another. They perform all sorts of odd behaviors, much like we might do in front of the mirror to see what we look like when we do that new dance step, or when we just want to see how we look in a new outfit, or what we look like when we do a certain behavior. So it's striking to see these things. They're so cute. Ooh.
Hippopotamus. I hear hippopotamuses could be very dangerous, right? Wasn't it? It's a hippopotamus. What else is a rhino, right? Where are they? Rhinos. Oh, they're so cute though, right? I mean, look at the chimpanzees react to their reflection in the mirror. They're amazing too. I mean, all the animals are. 15 most dangerous ocean creatures in the world. See, this is hard because I just want to look at all of them. I'm the leader here. I have to have a plan. I mean, who do you think is the most dangerous animal in the ocean? I would say the great white shark, right? But I would think a killer whale. Now, like I said, I read that killer whales actually get dolphin, but that they do. And I asked, well, do they eat other dolphins then? And they said some of them do because not their own family. They're very protective of their own family. That's so cute. Okay, let's see what else. Dolphins. How about a dolphin against a shark? Yeah, here we go. That came right up. Ooh. What? This is why sharks are afraid of dolphins. You want to see that one? Let's see.
If I asked you to name the scariest, most ferocious animal in our planet's oceans, chances are you'd probably pick one of these tooth-filled monsters.
Yeah.
But as terrifying as they are, there's another marine animal that strikes fear into the heart of every shark in the ocean. Dolphins. That's right. Despite their happy, smiley faces, Flipper is hiding a deadly secret. There's a common misconception floating around that sharks are the apex predator of the ocean. This is because of a couple of reasons. The first reason probably has something to do with a particular movie directed by Steven Spielberg in 1975. Jaws absolutely terrified audiences with the tale of a vindictive, killer great white shark named Bruce. Even though Bruce was an animatronic prop made out of fiberglass, fear of being eaten alive still stops people from swimming in the ocean, even to this day. The second reason is the body count. Sharks claim the lives of around 10 people every year, while injuring around 70. But it takes a lot more than just impressive human casualty rates to be crowned king of the ocean. You might be surprised to learn that the dominant creature in the deep is none other than the humble dolphin. Yep, even the great white shark swims in the other direction when he sees a pod of dolphins in the distance.
But why?
Dolphins have forever been man's best friend in the water. Curious, playful, even helpful in times of need. So what about them makes them shark kryptonite? Well, it turns out they aren't as innocent as they look, and despite their permanent grin, dolphins have a dark side. But first things first, what exactly counts as a dolphin? Dolphins are a family of aquatic mammals generally found in the warmer waters of the tropic zones. There are exceptions, of course, but the vast majority of the 36 species alive today prefer to avoid the cold. They're characterized by their streamlined bodies, large dorsal fin, a pair of flippers, and a powerful triangular rear tail that's positioned horizontally for speed and maneuverability. This allows them to reach speeds of up to 30 kilometers an hour in short bursts, or leap up to 9 meters out of the water's surface. Being mammals, dolphins are warm-blooded, and like whales, they have lungs which breathe regular air. For this reason, dolphins have to periodically surface in order to breathe using a single nostril on the tops of their head called a blowhole. A single breath can allow dolphins to dive back down for up to 10 minutes. However, most dolphins surface to breathe around 2 to 3 times a minute. Oh, and another fun fact. Breathing is a conscious movement for dolphins, which makes sleep very interesting. While we humans have a breathing reflex that kicks in as soon as we fall asleep, dolphins have to consciously remember to expel and inhale air through their blowhole. I don't know about you, but waking up 2 to 3 times per minute to breathe sounds like an exhausting way to get a good night's sleep. Luckily, dolphins have literally hatched a half-brain scheme to stop themselves from drowning. When getting some shut-eye, dolphins can rest one half of their brain while the other half stays alert to enable the dolphin to continue breathing and look out for dangers in the environment. Likewise, a dolphin sleeps with one eye open. The left eye will be closed when the right half of the brain sleeps, and vice versa. Incredibly social and highly intelligent, dolphins travel in groups called pods with up to 30 other dolphins. They hunt as a group, communicate as a group. They even tend to mate as a group.
Wait, what?
In contrast, sharks are lonesome, solitary killers, patrolling the ocean for their next meal. It's this dolphin camaraderie that often sees a whole pod of dolphins take on a shark and win. When a single member of the pod is injured, threatened, or in danger, the other members of the group will rush in to protect their friend. This means that if a shark tries to pick off or ambush a dolphin that's been separated from the pod, a few clicks and whistles, and the rest of the pod will come racing in for a fight. Now, if we ignore orcas for a second, yes, orcas are considered dolphins. Most of them measure between 2 and 4 meters long. On the other hand, a great white can reach up to 6.5 meters, dwarfing the much smaller dolphin. On paper, it hardly sounds like a fair fight. But dolphins have a couple tricks up their sleeve. The first one is agility. While sharks are big and powerful, their vertically oriented tail means that changing direction, especially when moving up or down, can be a little slow. On the other hand, dolphins are supremely flexible, and their horizontal tail means they can turn, spin, and change direction at a moment's notice. A dolphin's second advantage over their shark nemesis is a superior intellect. Dolphins have apparently taken Shark Anatomy 101 and know exactly where to strike in order to cause the greatest damage. Typically, dolphins aim for a shark's gills or soft underbelly, launching themselves at high speed towards the shark and ramming them with their hardened snouts. A well-placed strike can be fatal, with underbelly strikes causing extensive internal bleeding, organ rupture, or irreparable damage to the shark's gills, causing them to very quickly drown. Don't get me wrong, sharks can and do eat dolphins that are busy crater feeding, a technique where a dolphin positions themselves vertically, snout buried in the sand, while they sift for small fish and crustaceans. Sharks exploit a dolphin's blind spot while in this position, ambushing and making quick work of the poor animal. Sharks will also often target dolphins that have become separated from their pod. However, more often than not, sharks will take a wide berth when they see a pod of dolphins up ahead. But it's not just their own kind that dolphins save from the jaws of sharks. On multiple occasions, pods of dolphins have put themselves in between hungry great whites and divers, encircling them until the sharks leave. They've even rescued people from drowning. Yes, dolphins and humans share a special bond, but sometimes that bond is a little too special. At a tourist spot in Veradero, Cuba, it's almost guaranteed that a dolphin will mount the floating platform, and also whoever is brave enough to lie down on it. Despite the interspecies romance, one burning question remains. Has a dolphin ever killed a human being? The sad answer to that question is a tragic yes. Back in 1994, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, 2 drunk men thought it would be fun to swim out to a dolphin they spotted on Caraguatatuba Beach and antagonize it. João Paulo Moreira and Wilson Reis Pedroso were repeatedly headbutted by the dolphin as they attempted to ride it and tie objects to its tail. These headbutts were particularly vicious, with both men sustaining broken ribs from the attack. Moreira's injuries were significantly worse, however. The repeated strikes caused massive internal bleeding, resulting in Moreira's death a few days later. But that was a wild dolphin. What about ones we keep in captivity? Well, it turns out the numbers are even worse. You might remember the story of Tilikum, the orca who lived and performed at Orlando's SeaWorld. On 3 separate occasions between 1991 and 2010, Tilikum was responsible for the death of 2 trainers and a man who snuck into Tilikum's sleeping tank in the middle of the night. Dolphins are rarely human aggressive, but they will respond if you're causing pain or discomfort. Luckily, dolphins remain man's aquatic best friend, and they're way more likely to help than harm us.
Aww.
Thanks for watching.
So
if you enjoyed this
cute.
video,
Wow.
please make sure to drop a like. And if you're not
That's so interesting. Well, yeah, then I guess, that's the big thing with them and shark, that they can maneuver and go all different directions when the shark is just kind of going straight. See? You don't have to be always the biggest doesn't always win. Sometimes being smart and fast and all that will win. Yes, Aaron, we're here. We're learning today. Aaron says, I learned something new about dolphins today. Hippos and rhinos are in Africa. Yeah, I guess are they only in Africa? I mean, the only time I've ever obviously seen one was at a zoo. Hippos and rhinos, I feel like rhinoceros obviously has a big horn, but again, I don't know which one's more, I wouldn't want to say vicious. I mean, I don't know, but I heard they probably equally. Let's see, should we look up them? Okay, I'm going to look up. Let's see. How about a rhino versus a hippo? What do you guys think? Rhino versus hippo. Real fight. Ooh, we could talk about moose. What about moose? Okay, rhino versus hippo. Oh, this is just a short clip. Hippo learned lessons from rhino. I mean, that's obviously a rhino. Oh. Oh, look at this one. How about this one? Well,
Hippopotamus versus
learn a
rhinoceros.
little bit about these guys. No.
Who would win between these
Most
two
effective.
big animals?
Not as cute as a dolphin.
When talking about large land mammals, we often think of elephants. How about this time we turn our attention to hippos and rhinos?
Ooh.
How much do you know about them?
Not much.
Hippopotamuses are large, round, water-loving animals that are native to Africa. The word hippopotamus comes from the Greek word for water horse or river horse, although hippos and horses aren't closely related. Rhinos may look like prehistoric creatures, and they do date back millions of years to the Miocene era, but they are also mammals like us. Size and appearance. The hippopotamus has a bulky body on stumpy legs, an enormous head, a short tail, and 4 toes on each foot. Males are usually 11.5 feet, 3.5 meters long, stand 5 feet, 1.5 meters tall, and weigh 3.5 tons, 3,200 kilograms. The skin is 2 inches, 5 centimeters thick on the flanks, but thinner elsewhere, and nearly hairless. Color is grayish-brown with pinkish underparts. The mouth is half a meter wide and can gape 150 degrees to show the teeth. The lower canines are sharp and may exceed 12 inches, 30 centimeters. The ears, eyes, and nostrils are located high on the head so that the rest of the body may remain submerged. Numerous skin glands release an oily reddish or pinkish lotion, which led to the ancient myth that hippos sweat blood. This pigment actually acts as a sunblock, filtering out ultraviolet radiation. Rhinoceroses are characterized by the possession of 1 or 2 horns on the upper surface of the snout. These horns are not true horns, but are composed of keratin, a fibrous protein found in hair. Modern rhinoceroses are large animals ranging from 8 feet, 2.5 meters long, and 5 feet, 1.5 meters high at the shoulder in the Sumatran rhinoceros, to about 13 feet, 4 meters long, and nearly 7 feet, 2 meters high in the white rhinoceros. Adults of larger species weigh 3 to 5 tons.
Oh my God.
Rhinoceroses are noted for their thick skin, which forms plate-like folds, especially at the shoulders and thighs. All rhinos are gray or brown in color, including the white rhinoceros, which tends to be paler than the others. Aside from the Sumatran rhinoceros, they are nearly or completely hairless, except for the tail tip and ear fringes, but some fossil species were covered with dense fur. Range and habitat. The original range of the hippos used to cover sub-Saharan Africa. The small current range of common hippos includes East African countries such as Tanzania, Zambia, and Mozambique. As semi-aquatic creatures, they prefer living in shallow water bodies such as lakes, rivers,
Wow. All right. I'm just going to kind of browse because otherwise we won't get through many animals. A piranha fish, but that's interesting. Yeah, rhinos are on the plains. Yep, and hippos spend their times in the water. Wow, they are huge. 3 to 5 tons, and in a ton is 2,000 pounds. Oh my gosh. I wonder, Aaron, how much a moose weighs. I mean, they must weigh a ton or more, right? 2,000 pounds. Oh my gosh. How much does a car weigh? Does a car weigh like a ton? 2,000 pounds? Maybe not. No. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they do. Yeah, we'll look up piranha. What was another one? Oh, elephants. They mentioned elephants, and that was one thing that came up yesterday when I said what were one of the smartest animals, and they were on the list. They said something that was like, "Aw." It was something like elephants have empathy and they remember people. We should look something up about that. Like, that one made me like kind of sad. Not sad, but like, wow. See, animals are really they do. They have feelings, obviously. Here, let's look up elephant. Elephant. I mean, I wonder how much an elephant weighs. I mean, they weigh tons. Elephant empathy. Let's see if that happens. If something comes up. An elephant showing empathy. Let's look at that one. You know, man, we like empathy here. Elephant empathy. It's this one. Oh.
Why are these elephants running? Are they happy? Are they frolicking? Or are they running away in fear from another elephant that's bitten one of them? If you were an elephant, you'd know that they are very distressed. And researchers say you'd probably rush over to console them. Until now, only a few kinds of non-human animals have been known to console each other when a fellow has been attacked. Apes, wolves, and some kinds of birds, although there are lots of anecdotes about dolphins and other cetaceans. The researchers figured that elephants, who are highly intelligent and social, would also try to cheer each other up. So they studied 26 elephants in 6 groups in a park in Thailand. The scientific definition of consolation requires that it come after an attack, and the researchers didn't always know what disturbed the elephants. Sometimes it might have been people or dogs or a noise, but otherwise the elephant behavior fit the bill. Elephant bystanders gathered round the distressed animal, they made chirping sounds, and they touched each other in ways that the researchers say are reassuring to elephants. Evidence of empathy in yet one more animal.
Wow, that's interesting. I was just looking it up out of curiosity.
Elephants. Weighing 7 tons and measuring more than 3 meters at the shoulder, the African elephant is the world's largest land mammal.
That was just what I was looking it up. The largest land animal on Earth is the African elephant, 8 to 15,000 pounds. Wow. Okay, let's watch a little bit about the elephant. The Asian elephant. Oh, baby elephant. And their tusks, you know, the whole thing.
But they are not just physically giant. They have the biggest brains of any land mammals too.
Wow.
3 times bigger than ours and weighing a whopping 5 kilograms. They're made up of around 300 billion neurons. That's 3 times more than humans. Do these huge brains translate into a heightened intelligence? What emotions do elephants feel? And why is the herd so important for their survival? We're going to explore the amazing behavior of these majestic animals and uncover why elephants pay more than a passing resemblance to ourselves. Elephants are one of the most intelligent animals on Earth. They're one of the few species who can recognize their own reflection, meaning they might even have a similar sense of self to us. Elephants have shown impressive emotional intelligence too. They perform consolation behavior, reassuring others in distress through soothing vocalizations and comforting gestures with their trunks. They also help each other in times of need and even appear to mourn the death of friends and family, just like humans. These behaviors can be seen in close-knit elephant families, usually made up of a dominant female or matriarch, her daughters and her calves. Showing altruism or selflessness, the family will all pitch in to help rear youngsters and protect them in times of danger. When threatened, they keep the more vulnerable babies in the center of the herd, forming a protective barrier against all predators. Somewhat surprisingly, elephants will often babysit for other mothers in the herd. In fact, it's an extremely important aspect of elephant life. It builds lifelong bonds and helps the herd to thrive. Mothers have even been found to adopt orphan babies, letting them suckle and protecting them after their mothers have died. Some herds have adopted outsiders too, like a human family might do. Like humans, young elephants spend many years learning from their elders. They won't reach independence until they're 10 years of age, and there's a lot to learn.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, good. Aaron gave us some interesting facts here about the Maine moose. Weighs 800 to 1,000 pounds. I mean, that's still huge for females, and up to 1,400 pounds for males. 2,000 per ton. Wow. And an Alaskan moose are larger and can range upwards of 1,600 pounds. Impressive, but less than a hippo. And how about that that elephant being so like one of the biggest animals? Interesting. So elephants are obviously in Africa, but what about they have them at the zoo? I mean, I know that's a controversial thing. Some people think that they shouldn't have them. Okay, so I went into ChatGPT just to as our subject of animals here, and I said about because I think it's interesting that the smartest animals and who have the smallest brains. ChatGPT said the smallest brains are usually found in tiny animals, but what's amazing is that a tiny brain doesn't necessarily mean a dumb animal. Here are some of the smallest. The fairy fly, a tiny wasp, one of the smallest insects on Earth. Its brain is smaller than the period at the end of this sentence. Yet it can fly, find food, and reproduce. An ant. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. Aaron says, I was so happy to see a red belly piranha at the zoo in Scranton. What a great experience that was. Thanks, Hollis. Oh, yeah. We went in Scranton. I don't know if anyone, probably not, maybe not in the chat room from PA, but in downtown at the Steamtown Mall, there's like an aquarium, but they had some other little animals too. Remember, Aaron, the little cat? Did you ever find the cat? That was one that stuck out for me, as I love cats. I know you do too. But it was like an Asian cat. It was like at the Steamtown Mall in Scranton. I was like, and it was just, he was kind of by himself, but it was like it seemed like night. They made it with the light, so it was night for him. I forget what it was called, but what was that? The red belly piranha. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know much about piranhas. Where did they exist? We're going to look at them next. But first, tiny brains. An ant. An ant's brain is about the size of a grain of sand. It contains roughly 250,000 neurons. Wow. Together, ants build huge colonies and solve surprisingly complex problems. Yeah, like the ant farm and all that. A fruit fly, very small. Jellyfish. Here's an interesting tidbit that you could tell at your next dinner party to impress your friends. Jellyfish, did you know jellyfish have no brain at all? Instead, they have a simple nerve net spread throughout their body. A sea squirt. Never heard of that one. This one is amazing. As a baby, it has a tiny brain so it can swim. Once it attaches to a rock for life, it digests most of its own brain because it no longer needs it. Ew. A sea squirt. A honeybee. Brain weighs less than a milligram, yet bees can recognize flowers, communicate through their famous waggle dance, remember locations, and even recognize some human faces. One of my favorite facts, one of Chat GTT's favorite facts. So an elephant's brain weighs about 10 to 12 pounds. A honeybee's brain weighs less than 1 milligram. The difference of that's a difference of a million of time in size. Yet both animals can learn, remember, communicate, and solve problems. The lesson: brain size alone doesn't determine intelligence. For example, dolphins have very large brains. Elephants have huge brains. Crows and parrots have relatively small brains but are incredibly intelligent. Octopus have large nervous systems with many neurons in their arms as well as their brains. Nature is amazing because there are so many different ways to become smart. A tiny bee and a giant elephant both can solve problems. Yeah, they just do it with very different kinds of brains. It's amazing when you think about it, right? When you think about just the creation of life, not just human. We're humans, so we focus more on our own lives and stuff. And obviously we have our pets and you think your cats and your dogs. But I mean, when's the last time you thought about the brain of a honeybee? That's what we talk about here on Holistics. So I said, what is the least smartest animal? And he says, I call ChatGPT he, or she says, he says, this is actually a trick question. Scientists generally don't like calling any animals dumb because every animal is adapted to survive in its own environment. That said, there are some animals that have a reputation for not being very intelligent. All right, what do you guys think? Any guesses there? Who you think are like the least intelligent animals? Probably the simplest answer, because if we just remember our fun fact, jellyfish, probably because they have no brain, just a network of nerves. They survived for over 500 million years without a brain. Yeah, they've survived that long. Wow. Aw, here's one. A sloth. People often call sloths dumb because they're slow, but they're actually just built to conserve energy. Aw. They're cute. We got to look them up. They're really cute. Where are they? I don't know. I know what they look like, and they're an interesting little character, but I'm not sure where they reside, where you would find sloths. Koalas. Koalas have one of the smallest brain to body ratios among mammals. Interestingly, though, they almost exclusively eat eucalyptus leaves. If you put those same leaves on a plate instead of a branch, many koalas won't recognize them as food. Aww. Turkey. Wild turkeys are actually fairly alert, but domestic turkeys have a reputation for being less adaptable because they've been bred by humans for meat production. Pandas. Giant panda. Pandas spend most of their day eating bamboo, which isn't very nutritious. They don't show the same problem-solving abilities as animals like crows, dolphins, or great apes, but they're perfectly adapted to their lifestyle. The surprising part, some animals people think are dumb are actually incredibly smart. For example, crows can make and use tools. Parrots can solve puzzles and learn hundreds of words. This is what I was saying. Octopuses can escape locked tanks and open jars. Wow. Elephants recognize themselves in the mirror and have remarkable memories. Dolphins cooperate, communicate, and recognize themselves in mirrors. Nature isn't really about being the smartest. It's about being good enough to survive. A jellyfish has no brain and has been around longer than dinosaurs. Wow. That is interesting. An octopus is incredibly intelligent, but usually lives only a few years. Aw. And how about the thing with the octopus with the ink? Both are evolutionary success stories in their own way. That's one thing I love about the animal kingdom. There's so many different ways to thrive. Oh, octopus in ink. Now let me know. Okay, in the meantime, we'll look back at octopus. Let's look at the piranha. I just want to know what about octopus. Oh, here, wait. Okay, let me see here. Let's look at piranha. Now, where are piranha? I feel like they're in lakes, right? Just remember that movie? Okay. How do I get out of this? Okay, sorry, guys. YouTube, let's go to piranha. Where are piranhas? I mean, are they really? I don't feel like they're that big. They're just like, ooh, we were wrong. Piranha's the animal that just doesn't make sense. How about this one? Oh,
Time for the ultimate killer's test. How would the piranha react to my duck? So we have our oven ready here. We'll just give it a dabble.
This meditation is if the animal is in distress. Yep, and then make some movements and to release some blood from it.
Right, okay.
You've got to make it look as if this animal's struggling to break free of the surface, and maybe it's had a broken wing, it's bleeding.
We knew they were there, but they're very wary. First, a small scout darts in to take a bite and checks how the prey reacts. If it gets a violent reaction, they all back off. But if not, then the whole pack just piles in. Just a few minutes later.
Whoa. Oh my God. Whoa.
Time.
Let's skip ahead a little bit here.
The commotion attracts Dorado, known locally as the river tiger.
Ooh.
They patrol the feeding shoals, looking for a chance to strike.
All right, let's skip ahead.
Piranhas for a long, long time, and I've not been bitten yet, but that's my first piranha battle scar.
Ooh. Ooh.
The black piranha is really very distinctive, very dark in color, but it has these incredible red eyes. It has a very, very stocky body. You look at it in cross-section. If you look at it end on, you can see it's almost bulldog-like in appearance. But because it's not very long, it's very maneuverable. It can move incredibly quickly, moving in towards food, taking a bite, and then instantly swimming away.
Wow. All right. Well, I don't know. Do people eat piranha? Piranhas are in South America in the rivers. They swim in schools and are terrifying because of their feeding frenzy. Yeah. Oh, like that movie, right? That's the only thing I remember really about piranhas is that one movie about it, right? Should we look at that? That's like our TDI Friday, the piranha the movie. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll say that one for Friday. There's too many interesting things. We can't just get stuck on one. Animal encounters. You never know if these are real or what. Look at the world's grumpiest cat. This is what happens, guys, right? We go on YouTube. You're like, oh, I'll watch the animal compilations. The funniest animals ever. A raccoon. Oh, how about kangaroos? They're interesting. Like boxing kangaroos that box and stuff. I hear that kangaroos could be very not the nicest, right? They punch people and stuff. Oh my gosh. How about sloth? I wanted to look up that one. Like, let's look up sloth. Okay, let me look up sloth. Where are sloths? Oh. They're so cute.
If there's one thing you know about sloths, it's that they're, well, slow.
Aww.
But that doesn't mean they're boring. In fact, sloths are one of the most extreme animals on the planet.
Oh my God.
And not just because they poop only once a week. First of all, sloths really are extremely slow. Their top speeds clocking at just 0.25 kilometers per hour, making them the slowest mammal on the planet. According to zoologist Becky Cliff, that's because, well, sloths can't really see.
60 million years ago, they lost the ability to see. They went almost completely blind. So in the daytime, a sloth actually can't see anything because it's too bright. If you can't see where you're going, you can't run around because you're going to fall out the tree.
Moving slowly may sound like a liability, especially if you're nearly blind. But being sluggish actually comes with all kinds of benefits. For one, they save an enormous amount of energy. In fact, sloths use about 90% less energy than the average mammal, which is vital, considering their diet is a low-energy snack consisting of leaves with a side of leaves. And as it turns out, being slow also helps sloths avoid detection. You see, sloths are so slow that predators like jaguars and eagles, which use movement to hunt, can't even find them. But some sloths take predator avoidance to the next level. Thanks to rare extra vertebrae in its neck, the three-fingered sloth can turn its head 270 degrees, which allows it to smell incoming predators from almost any direction. And that's especially useful when you spend nearly all of your time motionless in a tree. In fact, sloths sleep, mate, and even give birth, all while hanging upside down on a branch. And as you might expect, that requires some pretty extreme adaptations.
They've got special tendons in their hands which lock into place.
And along with their long, hook-like fingernails, allow them to hang easily.
They're like a giant coat hanger.
And to combat a rush of blood to the head, which might be familiar if you've ever hung upside down.
They have special sort of valves in their circulatory system that does actually stop the pooling of blood in the head.
But if you think that's extreme, consider this. Once a week, sloths risk their lives on a daring journey from the protective forest canopy to the ground. Their mission? To poop. And it really is risky.
We suspect about 60% of predator-based sloth deaths happen while they're pooping. They literally risk their life to come down to the ground.
So they have to make it count. And boy, they really do. Sloths can lose an astonishing 30% of their body weight each time they go. Plus, they might get a mate out of it.
How do you find a mate if you're solitary and you can't move very far? Well, they're going to have to use pheromones and scent markers. I think that coming down and leaving a little pile at the base of your favorite trees is sort of like a little signpost.
But if there's one thing that really pushes sloths over the top, it's their rough fur. Sloth's fur has its very own ecosystem. Because they live in the rainforest, it's often, wet, which creates the perfect environment for algae to grow and provides sloths with green camouflage. But it isn't just algae that calls a sloth's fur home. You can also find beetles, cockroaches, and a species of moth that's found nowhere else in the world, except for on a sloth. And the sloths don't seem to mind one bit. But that's not all. Their fur might actually save lives. Fungi in their fur have been shown to fight breast cancer cells, and they may also have properties for fighting malaria.
Oh.
So, despite their slow pace, sloths are far from boring. And in some environments, they aren't even slow. I mean, look at that daredevil go.
That's so funny. Well, yeah, that's interesting. There's, you see, we're learning little tidbits. Sloths only poo once a week. A lynx. What's a lynx? And chicken. Is a lynx an animal? Let me see. A lynx? Is that an animal? Oh, a lynx. Oh, yeah. You know what? Oh, the cat. I think it might have been. Yeah, I think it was, Joe. Was it called a lynx? It might have been. Or it was like a water cat or something. Maybe it wasn't lynx, but it did kind of look like this, but she was little. I'm saying she. I was assuming it was a she. I love it. Oh, I love cats. How about lions and tigers? What would you be more scared of, a lion or a tiger? You don't want to, again, they're hypothetical. You don't really want to, run into either. Did anyone ever do the Six Flags like safari? I never did it. I always wanted to, where you'd like drive through. I don't know if they do it anymore, but the safari, you would get to drive through. It had something to do with Six Flags. I don't know if it was the entrance or something, and all the animals could like come up to your car and stuff. We should look at that. I would think, like, you think any of the animals went damage the cars or anything? How about, like, what was it called? Six Flags Safari road adventure or drive through? I could have sworn it was Six Flags. Wild safari full ride? Okay. Well, that's pretty long. Here, drive through safari.
I know the crowds at Six Flags are known for being a little wild, but this is
Let's go. In a rental car.
So today I'm in Jackson, New Jersey, and I'm at Six Flags Great Adventure, one of the larger theme parks in the United States. Geographically, it is big. It's almost as big as
Here's the
Disney's
rhino.
Animal Kingdom. So it's on a lot of acreage. What's interesting about this is they have this drive-through safari, which you're watching the video of right now, and it actually is available as a separate standalone, like a la carte attraction. You don't necessarily have to pay for theme park admission to go to this. You can pay $9.99 to actually do this drive-through separate from the park, which I thought was kind of interesting. Or if you are a Six Flags pass holder, you actually get into this for free. Although Six Flags has been kind of changing the structure of their annual passes, so I don't know how much longer that will stand. But right now, that was the policy
4 years
for
ago.
going to this drive-through attraction. Now, these drive-through attractions with all these safari animals, they used to be a lot more common than they are today. I remember there used to be multiple locations of Lion Country Safari, for example. I grew up in South Florida near Lion Country Safari, and there used to be other locations for Lion Country Safari where we used to drive through animal enclosures like this. I believe there was a Lion Country in Texas as well as California. But that's just based on my memory. Sometimes it's fuzzy. Nowadays, these are a lot more rare than they used to be. You know, it's kind of neat to see a throwback attraction like this one because of lawsuits and liability and animals wrecking people's cars and everything. These type of attractions have disappeared lately. I do really appreciate these attractions that are like the 1970s, and I really don't know how much longer they're going to be doing these type of attractions. Lately, the theme parks have kind of shifted into a similar type of thing, but now they like if you go to Wild Adventures or Disney's Animal Kingdom, you're on a bus or a train now. Injure them because they're not trained to properly
Oh, look at a
look
giraffe.
at. And if you don't want to get tangled up with your family at a zoo for a full day, Country Safari is probably a little larger than this one.
Ooh.
But overall, this is a respectable drive-in safari. And if you're in the area and enjoy these type of things,
Interesting. That's one that a giraffe. There. I mean, these are all sound dumb. Like these are all in Africa, right? Most of those animals, the giraffe, the zebra. What else? It's a circle of life. I was thinking about that today. Lion King. You know, it's like the vulture. When it comes back to the vulture, it all started with the deep fried vulture comment that kicked us off into the magic kingdom here, the animal kingdom. But the circle of life. Who's at the top of the food chain? The lion definitely is one of them, right? How about lion? Well, what do you think? Lion versus tiger? I don't know. Do they get along? Do lions and tigers get along? Tigers versus lions. Who would win? What is the difference? Lions versus tigers. How about the things where they have these tigers at their house and stuff? Pet tiger. Could you imagine that? Here, let's see. You're just like, what?
Right. They're one of the most dangerous animals in the world. Yet one family show no fear when it comes to their pet tigers. They play and swim with them and even allow their children to ride on their backs.
Eu não tive nem pouco de medo das minhas filhas conviver com esses animais.
But not everyone is happy, and there's fears something will go wrong sooner or later.
Eu acho perigoso.
I mean, how is that even allowed? You know what I mean? Like, how would you get your hands on a tiger? And I don't think are you allowed to have a tiger? It's like a wild animal, right?
Contato dela com os bichos.
Here in Moringa, Brazil, Ari Boyce and his family have not one but 7 tigers. Together with his 3 daughters, Desanira, Yara, and Nayara, Ari and the family eat, live, and even swim with the giant cats. Despite having no experience with tigers, Ari rescued 2 of the big cats from a circus 8 years ago after he found them living in bad conditions. He decided to build an enclosure and welcomed them into the family.
Eu não tive nem um pouco de medo das minhas filhas conviver com esses animais. Tem que existir respeito e amor. E daí os animais vão também respeitar vocês e vão amar vocês.
And it wasn't long before Ari's daughter, Urara, began feeding, petting, and walking the tigers on leads.
Os tigres nasceram aqui, a gente acabou cuidando, dando mamadeira, e o instinto deles foram adormecidos.
20-year-old Nayara has formed a special bond with one of the tigers, Tom, and regularly swims with him.
Piscina com Tom 3 vezes na semana para manter esse condicionamento dele de nadar, até mesmo porque ele tá um pouco pesado, dificilmente ele entra na piscina sem eu. Entendeu? Ele já
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. I don't know. It's it's just like a matter of time before they snap. Like what they say I've seen things, where there's snakes, boa constrictors and stuff like that, but I don't even know what other animal, a chimpanzee. Remember that one where that lady was attacked really bad with by a chimpanzee? Like, because at the end of the day, they are still wild animals, I'm sure they can be trained to be your friend if you had them since they were like a baby or whatever. But I don't know. I like it, like Chris said earlier, like it's better to admire from afar. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it was interesting. How about polar bears? How about bears in general? Grizzly bears? Have you guys ever ran into any scary animal encounters? I know Aaron maybe ran into a moose, or I know Amy saw a moose and stuff. I saw a bear once in the woods. But other than that, nothing too scary. No. But yeah, cats, I don't know. It's just very interesting how flamingos, lots of different birds. But yes, guys. So what else is going on in Kinetics? Let me just we'll take a little break here, just in case because I've already been talking for an hour and 40 minutes. So we are going to see what's happening next. Maybe we'll switch off animals and let's see what else is going on.
You're watching Holistics, hosted by Hollis Mahady. Be sure to visit hollismahady.com and join our email list to stay updated on upcoming shows, special events, new music, books, podcasts, and creative projects. And if you're looking for a community of like-minded people who value authentic human connection, meaningful conversations, creativity, music, art, and personal growth, join us at buymeacoffee.com/hollismahady. Together, we're building a growing community focused on preserving what matters most. Real people, real conversations, and genuine connection. Love Zombies Land, out now. Get your digital copy exclusively at hollismahady.com or order the paperback today on Amazon.
And there we have it. All right, let's remove that. We'll get a little background back up here. So today is Monday. Now this Wednesday, I will be putting up a new episode Wednesday. I'm not going to be here because I am going to be doing a music endeavor. And I think this week I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm getting out back into the Cleveland scene, trying to meet some people and stuff like that. The past 2 Wednesdays, I put my new episode up though. But I went to the Rock and Roll Studios and was playing some oldies and playing the piano. It's a good time. It's fun. It's good to practice. It's nice to play with other people and they play some old songs and stuff. It's just a lot of fun. But I think this Wednesday there's a live band karaoke. I haven't sang karaoke in a long time, but what's cool about it is actually a live band that will take requests and you could go up and you could sing with the band. So I haven't done anything like that. I don't really know anyone here. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just get back out there and sing a little bit as I work on my own stuff and all that. Lots of new stuff in the pipeline. Love Zombies, as we said, I've been talking about that quite a lot. And Aaron, I found my envelopes. I'm going to be mailing out your book tomorrow, as I promised. And I'll be sending my mom a copy as well. So there's all that. But yes, let's see what else we got here. And don't forget, guys, take a little quick break. I'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey guys, have you noticed it too? The world is changing fast. Technology, AI, social media, endless scrolling. Sometimes it feels like we're all trying to keep up while wondering what we've lost along the way. The world is changing. This isn't about resisting the change, and it's not about living in the past. It's about bringing the best of what makes us human with us into the future. Authentic human connection, meaningful conversations, creativity, community, kindness, being human. I'm Hollis, and I don't claim to have all the answers, but like you, I'm simply navigating this changing world one day at a time. And that's why I created this community. It's a place for real conversations, shared experiences, curiosity, creativity, and connection. It's a place where like-minded people can come together and remember what matters most. In a world filled with self-promotion, this community isn't just about me. It's about us. So as my contribution, I'll share things that I do create. Music, podcasts, stories, creative projects, special events I'm thinking about having, and a complimentary digital copy of Love Zombies Land. A story for kids, but a reminder for adults too. But the real value here isn't just the content. It's the community we're building together. And if that sounds like something you've been looking for, I'd love to have you join us. The world is changing, guys, but let's bring the best of what makes us human with us. If you're interested or thinking about joining, head over to buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady and check it out.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Holistics. You are watching Holistics, and I am your host, Hollis Mahady. So yes, Monday night here, and I'm thinking about doing a little hot yoga tonight after the podcast. The great thing is hot yoga is open 24 hours. So you could take your mat and then you could go and sweat. Hot yoga means you go in the room and the temperature, you don't just do yoga, you sweat because it's very hot. So it's good. So I'm looking forward to that. And looking forward to this weekend. We have the 4th of July coming up. So the 4th of July is on Saturday, right? Because, yes, July 3rd is on Friday. So I'm sure people are busy planning what they're going to do. It's a big one. It's 250th birthday this year. And this past weekend, Dan and I went up to, I was talking about on the show, there's a little area up there where they did that barbecue. And there's a gazebo. And it's so nice. It's just like all lights, red, white, and blue. It's so pretty. It looks like a amusement park or Disneyland. You know how they do like the parade at night with all the lights and stuff, like a float is all lit up. It's really nice. So there's a lot going on here, but yes. So I will be back Wednesday night with a new episode, and we will be here Friday. And you know what else I want to mention? Next week, it's going to be exciting. I don't want the time to go fast because I want to savor each day because I love the summer. But Monday, July 6th, we're going to have Donna here from the Waverly Wellness House. Monday is Mark Woodiat, and then July 10th, that Friday is Donna. So tonight I do need to make some of my little banners and things like that to start promoting it and letting you know to make sure you tune in Monday, July 6th and Friday, July 10th. But I'll be here in between to remind you and show you some, pictures of them and everything and let you know what's coming. So we'll get into our holistic health and a little music next week. This was just a one-off. I said, you know what? We talk about all different things, like I said, but animals are interesting, and I miss my animals. So big shout out to Smeriglio out there. And Smeriglio, thank you so very much. And to everybody who's donated on the Buy Me a Coffee. I got your Buy Me a Coffee, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And to everyone who has chipped in and helped, I really appreciate it. Join the community. Make sure you claim your freebies. Joe and Aaron too. It's up there. The Love Zombies PDF is on the Buy Me a Coffee, and you guys are members and supporters, so it should be up there if you can't wait. I'd appreciate if you do read it, and you could put a review possibly. But Aaron, I will be sending out your book as promised. Like I said, I got one for my mom, and I found my mailer, the envelopes, so I just have to send them out. But yes, so again, guys, I will be back on Wednesday and Friday. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll do a little something special for the 4th of July. I did a little video by the little gazebo, the red, white, and blue one. and we will talk lots more. But at this point, I think I'm going to start to wrap things up because the yoga's calling. And yeah, that's it. We're going to enjoy the rest of the night. It's still light out there. I hope everybody else is out there staying cool. Don't get too hot. Be careful of these extreme temperatures. Make sure you're hydrating. And as Joe said earlier, you could throw some electrolytes in there, get some electrolyte powder, because you want to take care of yourself in the heat. It's not just the extreme cold, it's extreme heat. We have to be careful as well. And remember, guys, in case you didn't know, you can go to hollismahady.com, my website, and sign up for my email list. Get notified when there's new episodes up or when there's something new and exciting on Buy Me a Coffee. All that good stuff is all right on my website, hollismahady.com. I just have to take the links off there. Yes, and Joe said a chicken as one of the least intelligent animal. Chicken, and the lynx was the cat we were talking about. I don't know if it was called that. It might have been. Yeah. But I feel like it might have been something else. I have to find out. I could just look it up. It's probably on the website because it was just so cute. It would just seemed out of place. There's this little cat there. But yes. So let me just get that off there. hollismahady.com. That's where you could go and get the sign up for the email list. Stay abreast of the situation here, the guests that are coming on. And if you guys know anyone who might like the Love Zombies Land, I appreciate word of mouth. What is it when you do that backwards like that? Word of mouth. If you know someone, you like it, let them know. I don't have big advertising and all that like I've talked about, but just try to, it's new, it's getting out there, it's officially on Amazon. So I'm very excited about it. And I just want to spread the word, and hopefully people could discover Lolly and have some fun and enjoy the music and the bonus soundtrack that comes with it as well. All right, guys. Well, with that said, I think I kind of covered everything. We will get back here. I will be back here Wednesday with something. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I do have a couple ideas for some interesting episodes. Yeah. So I'll talk about that a little bit more on Wednesday. All right. Until then, guys, thank you so much for joining. If you are one of those 12 eyeballs I see up there, I see some other eyeballs, and you enjoyed the show, you could hit like. You don't have to hit that thumbs down. I still see the same culprits hitting the thumbs down. That's all right. You have a right. I just don't see why you go out of your way to give a thumbs down. And if you are liking the show, give it a thumbs up. Be a love zombie. Don't just be a hater. Don't just try to lower the vibes, or, I don't like that. Or you probably don't even watch. You just don't like it because people are mean like that. But love zombies, we don't do that. Don't do that. Try to do the opposite. So if you do like and enjoy, and again, you could join our community up there, scan the QR code, and tip support the show. I do this because I enjoy doing it, but it does cost me money. So any support always goes a long way, and you will get something back for it. It's not just asking for stuff. I get a copy of the book. You could get some of my music, and it's not a very reasonable $10 a month. All right, guys. So with that said, I will see you all next week. And big thank you for Chris being in the chat room, for Aaron, for Joe out there, and everyone else. I love you all. And I will see you Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Holistics. All right. See you next time, guys. Bye.
Thank you for watching Holistics, hosted by me, Hollis Mahady. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady. You can make a one-time donation or become a member for just a few dollars a month to get extra podcasts and exclusive behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. Or simply scan the code on the screen. Your support truly means the world to me and helps me continue creating independent content for you. If you like the music featured in this show, I license it through Epidemic Sound. You can head over to hollismahady.com, click on the podcast page, and use my link for a free trial. And don't forget to check out VOPUSARadio.com, where I host my music channel and am building a growing community of independent musicians. If you're interested in joining the network, just click Join Network and submit an application. Until next time, remember that you are loved and never alone. From human to human, big hugs. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the outro video. I love this song.
Lights shining from the window late at night. just watching someone else's life go by, wishing it was mine. Dreams, everybody has them at the start. Somewhere along the way they fall apart, and it makes it kind of hard to look up at the lights. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror, when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror, when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. When you wish upon a star just to find out it's a plane, and when you think you've come so far, but you're standing still again, and you finally understand. When the lights go out, everything is clear. When the lights go out, I could finally see. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I could finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror, when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Hope, try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't.